You know, with all of this trade talk surrounding Alexander Edler and everything else, I kind of wanted to take a little bit of a step forward. Not necessarily a step in the present, but a step forward. And talk about the Vancouver Canucks and their primary defensive coverage going into next year. Obviously, we're talking about Quinn Hughes here. And when we're talking about the subject of Quinn Hughes on the Canucks, first off, another shout out over to Clay Emo. He made a video on January 6th titled Vancouver Canucks, looking ahead to the debut of Quinn Hughes in March. Extension for Alex Edler? And that was a video that talked about Hughes. It highlighted some predictions for Clay and the whole Canucks organization as a whole. And I'd like to give a little bit of a question to you guys out there. Because with all this talk about Alexander Edler getting traded, Tanev maybe getting traded, Edler staying and coming back, there are many different options for the Canucks to go over next year, and a lot of that does rely on factors like who we have on the team next year and how the prospects develop, because we've already kind of talked about this a little bit. I know I talked about it yesterday, how the Canucks are just better than they should have been this season, especially considering the Sedins left and everything. But Alex Edler is playing well right now. And Quinn Hughes is a guy who's going to come in and he's expected to perform particularly well too. And Hughes is arguably, if not definitely, the best skater in the Vancouver Canucks organization today. And a lot of people have very high expectations for Quinn Hughes, and deservedly so. We already know the amount of skill that he possesses if we watched the World Juniors. But I wanted to ask you guys, assuming Quinn Hughes makes the team next year, what are your expectations for him? Actually, scratch that. Two scenarios here. First off, if Edler comes back, and Edler is here, what are your expectations for Quinn Hughes? Second off, if Edler is not here, he gets traded and he signs somewhere else in free agency that is not Vancouver, what are your expectations for Hughes then? Do they change? Is Edler being on the team something that lets you say, okay, well, that means that this is going to impact Hughes' development in the NHL by this much? What are the two results here that you predict? If Edler is here, what's Hughes' outcome? And if Edler isn't here, what is Hughes' outcome? Because I know that there are very potentially different questions that you could ask that have potentially different scenarios and likelihoods that transpire because of them. Now, for me personally, assuming Edler stays and assuming Quinn Hughes makes the team, which he's probably gonna do it. He's gonna make the team, just saying. Assuming Quinn Hughes makes the team and Edler is here, does that put Quinn Hughes in a sheltered top 4 kind of role? Does Quinn Hughes not get the amount of minutes that you'd expect out of a top 2 D-man because, hey, he's only 19, he's only 20, and Edler is here to take up all those big minutes? Is Quinn Hughes only getting like 17 minutes a night? Because if Quinn Hughes is not getting top 2 minutes, there are two things that you could probably say. First off, you could say that he's going to get less points. Second off, you could probably say that he's going to get better chances, because a less tired Hughes would probably translate into a well-rounded Hughes. But you could also argue that if he gets more minutes in the no Edler situation, where he gets himself 22 plus minutes a night, you could say that that's going to allow Hughes to play more and therefore get more points. There's a lot of variables here, and overall, there are many different things to consider when talking about this. Edler does eat up the big minutes on the power play. And if he's not here, obviously the replacement for Edler on the power play as the #1 left-handed quarterback, it's Quinn Hughes. But if Edler's still here, is he the one who's on that power play one with Besser, Pettersson, Horvat, and let's throw Berchi in there for now? Or if Edler is here next year, does Travis Green say, no, Edler, you're moved down to power play 2, Hughes, you're now on the first power play? Because let's face it, the main percentage of Hughes' production is going to come on the power play. Like, that's just how it is. if he's not on the power play, he's definitely not going to get as many points as he would if he was. And that kind of does change whether or not Edler is here. So I'm asking you guys, if Edler is here, what are your realistic predictions for Quinn Hughes? And if Edler is not here, what are your realistic predictions for Quinn Hughes? It's a very different video that I'm making here. I'm looking for more engagement in the comments, and I really want to hear what you guys think, because obviously there's a lot of things that we got to consider, and none of us, we're not Travis Green, we're not the training staff, we're not Jim Benning, so all we can do as fans is just sit here and talk about it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video plus the Gaming, and bye.